So in this lesson, we're going to be talking about how to analyze and optimize your current lifestyle. So not the lifestyle that you're dreaming about, that you're trying to manifest, your current lifestyle right now. So as a trader, it's extremely important to know exactly where you can improve within your daily routine. You also need to know the structure of your daily routine to pick which trading personality you want to choose, whether it's a day trader or swing trader. It all depends on how much time and resources you can put into this. So let me go over a few different points, a few different questions for you to think about. As an example, when it comes to optimizing your current lifestyle, right? Again, this is where you get real with yourself and you really sit down and draft it all out. This is what my day looks like. And when you do that, then you can eliminate a few things or add a different routine structure to it. So as an example, optimize your current lifestyle. Eliminate unnecessary junk. So anything that you do that is kind of unnecessary, that doesn't bring you any value, right, you can eliminate. And I'm not talking eliminate watching TV. If that's something that you enjoy, if you enjoy watching a movie at night, I mean, you need that time. You need that pleasure and enjoyment for yourself to just relax, right? So I'm not saying really eliminate that, but if you're spending hours and hours and hours every single day watching YouTube as an example, right, then obviously there's some improvement that can be done there, right? Same thing with your commute to work, with the places where you go to eat lunch and whatever it is, just eliminate anything that is unnecessary. Eliminate all unnecessary junk, right? So this is kind of, again, where you sit down and think about, okay, what can I fine tune here, right? What can I remove that does not serve me, right? Next thing, do things that you enjoy, right? So again, sit down right now at this point. What do you enjoy doing, right? We all know that if you're pursuing the lifestyle of the luxuries, driving these beautiful exotic cars, and obviously you might enjoy driving exotic cars, but that is not the present. That is not the present moment. So in the present moment, based on your current life circumstances, what do you enjoy doing on a regular basis? I want you to figure that out and to understand that, because that needs to be within your day. Every single day you have to be doing things that you enjoy, right? Obviously there will be days that you don't do that, but if you can structure an optimal daily kind of timeline where every single day you have time for enjoyment and pleasure, doing the things that you really do enjoy, that will keep you at peak performance, right? A lot of people think that you have to hustle over all the time, that 24-hour hustle kind of thing. It may not serve you, right? Because again, you don't have that time for yourself, right? And again, what do you enjoy? That is the time for yourself, right? So think about that. What do you enjoy doing? What could you be doing on a regular basis every single day that brings joy to your life? That's extremely important, and that needs to be within your current lifestyle. Now, consider your work, consider entertainment, consider self-care, consider education. How does all of that come in? So what's your work structure like? What is your entertainment? What do you do for fun again? What about self-care? Self-care is very important. Do you meditate? Do you do yoga? Do you do some kind of self-care practice? Running, meditation, yoga, qigong, going to the gym and exercising, taking a hike into the mountains, going to the beach, right? Self-care, that's all self-care. Going for massage, that is all self-care. So again, what can you do on a regular basis, preferably every single day, for yourself? Again, doing that will keep you at peak performance, because guess what? You don't have to be in front of the charts 24 hours a day, right? Just like you don't have to be working 24 hours a day. That is a myth. It may work for some people, it may not work for others, right? So some of you might like the grind, but I'm saying from longevity, right? If you want to do this for a very long time and you actually want to maintain it without getting burned out, right? You need to be true to yourself, and within your daily routine, you gotta have time for yourself. You gotta have time for joy and pleasure and entertainment, but also you gotta have time for work and that actual grind, So, and learning. Some of you might be fine-tuning and learning from a trading point of view, you have to have that time for learning, whether it's learning trading and fine-tuning your trading skills, or reading personal development books, or just absorbing knowledge from wherever it is, right? Having time for learning every single day is very important as well. So again, think about your current structure and where can you put in all those things, fun, entertainment, self-care, education, work, and then when you lay all of that out, how much time can you dedicate to trading on a regular basis, right? So how much time can you dedicate to trading at that point in time? Some of you might be working, well, as an example, I'll give you my personal example. When I was working full-time and trading full-time, I was working a very weird shift work, where I worked about 10 hours a day, a lot of times more, because I would get overtime just so I can get more cash flow and fund my trading account faster. So a lot of times I worked anywhere from like 10 to 14-hour days. And that changed every single week. So every single week I had a different 10-hour schedule that started at a different time and ended at a different time. That is as crazy as you can kind of get with a work schedule that literally changes every single week. And it's these big 10 to 14-hour chunks. So within that time, I still found time for myself. Well, barely any, but I found time for work, trading, and keeping myself at peak performance, whatever it is that I had to do, and learning. So whatever it is that you're doing right now from a work point of view and your lifestyle, get real with yourself and try to figure out where you can fit trading in, because day trading will require for you to be on the charts multiple times throughout the day, right? One big session when you make your watch list, and then multiple times throughout the day to kind of keep an eye out on it to see how things are developing, right? Quick checks. Swing trading, however, all you got to do is you spend a big chunk of time, meaning an hour or 2 or 3 over the weekend on a Saturday or a Sunday, and then throughout the week, you just wait for your alerts or wait for the pullbacks or wait for the entries that may be developing, right? So swing trading and day trading is a different game. And based on this, when you look at your current lifestyle and your current work and the things that you like to do, and you remove all the junk, the things that are unnecessary, that don't serve you, and you bring in the joy, the entertainment, the fun, the pleasure, but also the learning and the trading on top of it, right? How much time can you dedicate to trading? And would you prefer to be a day trader where you check the charts every single day after work or before work or during work, whatever? Or maybe swing trading fits better into your schedule, right? And both of them will be great. Whether you choose swing trading, whether you choose day trading, all you can succeed with any one of those plans. It just really depends. Swing trading is more part-time trading, whereas day trading is more full-time trading. So this is, again, where you get real with yourself, because the goals that you're after, the lifestyle that you're after, you can achieve that through day trading and through swing trading, right? And a lot of times swing trading might be easier at the beginning stages. It takes less time, right? It's slower for the setups to develop, so you don't have to be very snappy with your setups and your analysis. Things take a little bit longer to develop, and you just build that patience. Whereas day trading as a beginner, day trading can, it has a lot of room for error, because you may be taking more positions when you don't really have to. But again, this is where the trading plan comes in. We're going to eliminate all those issues within the trading plan. At this point in time, based on your current lifestyle, you just got to figure out what kind of trading personality do you think would work best with it, right? To achieve the goal that you're after. So that's some of the things to think about. Now, questions to ask yourself that may help you, such as, what's your typical day, right? Where are you working? What's your shift like? Do you have enough personal time? What's your sleep schedule like? Can you fine tune your sleep schedule? I went through many different sleep schedules, sleeping 8 hours a day to sleeping 4 hours a day. And I did that for a very long time when I was working full time. And after I quit my job, I was sleeping about 4 hours a day, to having this kind of schedule now where I sleep about 3 hours, 3-hour break, and I sleep another 3-hour chunk, for a total of 6 hours. Works really well. It works for me. I enjoy it. But again, sleep can be optimized. Some of you might thrive on 8 hours of sleep. Some of you might thrive on less. I thrive on less, so I really like that kind of 3 hours on and then another 3-hour chunk later on in the day or at night, so that's something that you can again play around with your sleep schedule. What else? What about your health? What else can you do for that? Because again, when you're healthy and you're fit and you're agile, that can put you into peak performance again. You might not think about it from a trading point of view, but when you're vibrant and your energy is high, your trading performance can be better as well. So that's all things to think about from a lifestyle point of view that you can do right now. So also, how can you adjust your day to have time for meditation, time to work on your personal development, time to listen to an audiobook, time to work out, And again, what do you need to do so you don't burn out? I burned out many times before, within my journey, specifically when I was working full time and trying to quit my job by day trading full time. I almost burned out. If I had to do it for another month or two, I would have burned out. I was very, very close. And then I just made the decision, okay, this is enough. I got to quit because I will burn out. And I was in a very good position to actually do that. And I ended up quitting, but I was very close to burning out, So again, you got to find that boundary that when your threshold is hit and you feel like you're burning out, your whole routine needs to be refined and fine-tuned, because you should not be burning out on a day-to-day basis, right? This optimization of your current lifestyle needs to be fine-tuned so that you love your day and you love every single structure of your day. Right now, my personal routine is so fine-tuned that every little piece from the day, the morning routine, my chart scans, whenever I look at charts, my trading routine, my work routine, my personal development routine, everything within my day, I'm able to fit it all in, right? Everything that I want, everything that I just talked about, and I love it, But it takes time. It takes time to refine and fine tune, and it also takes time for you to know yourself. You need to know exactly what you enjoy, right? And that's just experience. A lot of us have been stuck in this grind where we're working all the time and we're focusing all our attention on other individuals and other businesses and colleagues and friends and family and so on, where we don't focus enough on ourselves and we don't know the things that we truly enjoy. So I really hope that this process, when you really sit down and ask yourself these questions and try to build a routine, a daily routine that really works for you, right? I think that will be a game changer for a peak performance point of view. At least it has been for me, right? And that is it, right? The last thing is, how does it feel? So when you structure that daily routine from the morning, maybe tossing in a morning meditation session, visualization, abundance, right? Stepping into that dream lifestyle of yours, priming. I think everybody in the morning should have kind of like a meditation, visualization, priming session where you take some time and actually visualize, feel the individual that you want to become, the lifestyle that you're manifesting. Feel it right now, because it's extremely important to become that individual now, because then your reality is created for you, right? Once you really create it within self, right? So that's very important. And that's the morning. At night, I would also suggest having kind of like a reflection type of meditation where you reflect on the day, lessons, things that you can improve. This is where you really find the blockages, and we'll talk about that in the next lesson. But for now, this is it. I really want you to just sit down, think about your current lifestyle, think about all the junk that you can eliminate, and how do you really refine it so that the day works for you, right? The whole day, the whole routine really structured for you to be at peak performance and to actually enjoy life and live and have fun and really be at your peak performance so you can be the best trader and the best individual that you can be. That is it for this lesson on how to analyze and optimize your current lifestyle. I hope that's enough questions for you to kind of think about. And again, you gotta spend some time. Homework is spend time, few hours, maybe a few days, really brainstorm this, craft an optimal kind of routine that has all those things that I talked about, and then play with it. Try it for a week. If something does not feel right, change it up a little bit. Then again, try it until you find a routine that works for you. And when you notice that it doesn't work anymore, maybe after a few months, maybe after the seasons change, right? I find that a lot of times when a season changes, I have to optimize my routine as well. So that's a little tip, right? Sometimes you may feel like it's a little bit off, and it's because the season changed. You prefer to go to the beach rather than do something else, So you might want to optimize your routine when you feel like it's a little bit off. That is it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.